If you love classic cars, then Donald loves you. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn on your notifications, so that way you won't miss any of our widely varied video programs, including those with me and my friend Jay Leno. Also, follow us on Instagram at Audrain Auto Museum and Audrain Motorsport. Italy inspires the imagination. It pulls us back to discover history, to find out what is the root of history. Where do we come from? Where is art created? The Mille Miglia actually does all that and more because, of course, it is living history, as we've often discussed. But even more important, this particular trip was, I think, pretty darn special because we brought Antonio Melegari back to the town of his birth, Brescia, Italy. As a Bresciano, what was it like to go back for the Mille Miglia?
Well, if I were to use a narrator to narrate the movie of my life, I could use you, Donald. That sounded good. That sounded really good. Yeah, so I was born in Brescia, so I moved to America with my family when I was just a baby, and I had gone back to Brescia a few times, but to come to Italy and to do the Mille Miglia, which starts in the town that I was born in and ends in the town that I was born in, was a really big deal for my family, my dad especially, and me personally. It was one of those things where it's, as a 24-year-old, unless you're an oil tycoon or someone, it's a little difficult to do that on your own. But to be asked to do the event was something really special and a big deal. So.
And when we first spoke about you doing the Mille Miglia, you thought, well, this would be sort of amazing, but you deliberately sort of held yourself. I mean, we were delayed by 2 years with COVID, and even then you kept saying, and you said in the first section of this first episode of this series, that you didn't really want to believe it until we were sitting in the car, ready to drive across the ramp.
Yeah.
But I was really excited about the fact that you would be going back to Brescia and what that would mean not only for you, but also in the context of this, because this is a very emotional experience for everybody doing it. But I really wanted to see sort of a little bit of you in your hometown. I spent a lot of time in Italy. I've got lots of Italian friends, and I wanted to see how much of that, even though you left when you were a small child, how much of that is really in you? And I think we saw.
To go back a little bit, I remember in early 2020, you said that, well, you invited me to do the Mille Miglia, and I was really excited about it, but I was kind of figuring, with COVID and everything that's happening right now, I don't want to get my hopes up. And I'm glad I said that because we weren't able to do it because of the way that the world was. Then come the next year, 2021, you said, hey, Mille Miglia, and I had the same thought process. And then it was the same kind of feeling the weeks leading up to it. When I was packing my bag, I was like, I don't want to think about this too much. Then when we got on, I thought it was going to be all over when we got to the Boston airport, and then we had to, our negative COVID test results were 45 minutes to an hour after, or too late, which was completely ridiculous. And then we had to run across the airport. I'm thinking to myself, it's all over. This is why I didn't get my hopes up. But we made it to Italy, and then again, walking through, seeing all the cars, this is cool. I don't know if it's gonna happen. But again, we get to the start, and then I said to myself, this is happening.
But before that, after we got to Italy, we got to registration, we checked out the car, we got all of our documents together, we got our credentials, and then it was time to go exploring into the past of Antonio Melegari. This is this is an amazing amount of fun, and something, frankly, which could only happen in Italy.
Yeah.
A lot of people sort of go back to the house that their parents lived in when they were born, and they think, well, I can drive down the street, and that's it. You would never think, or few people would think in the United States, of actually stopping and ringing a doorbell with cameras, but I think it was really your father that sort of encouraged us in our adventure.
Maybe I get my mischievous personality from my dad. But yeah, we went. My parents had given us the address of where we used to live, and we stopped by. And I remember visiting I don't remember when I was a baby, but I remember visiting that house when I was younger, when we went there on vacation. And we get there, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, okay, I really remember this. And I'm walking around, I'm on FaceTime with my dad, and he goes, oh, that was our apartment right there. There was the balcony, and that's so-and-so's neighbor, and that's so-and-so, and those were our friends, and blah, blah, blah. He goes, oh, go to the gate and look at all the names and see if I recognize any of the names. So I start reading off the names, and he goes, oh, that one. Yeah, that's our next door neighbor. Ring the door. I'm like, okay. So I ring it, and this man answers, and then I said hello, and I introduced myself, and he was flabbergasted. Oh my God, I'll open the gate, and we go right in the gate.
And meanwhile, of course, we're standing outside. There's the three of us. I've got this big camera in my hand. You're at the gate. There are these cars driving down the street that we are convinced they're about to call the police at any moment.
Yeah.
Who are these stranieri in the street here trying to case this place?
Yeah, they probably thought it was like an MTV reality show in the middle of Brescia, nowhere, kind of random street. But yeah, we walk in, and it was one of my parents' next door neighbors, and he was so shocked to see me, and
pleasantly shocked.
Yeah, pleasantly shocked, and he hadn't seen me for so long. Since I was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, so I'm 24 now, so big difference. And he was just really happy, and he was so honored that I was doing this great event that really originated in that town and is famous for that town. And that was pretty powerful. That I hadn't done it yet, but it was pretty powerful to see that someone was that excited for me to do this. And I hadn't even ever seen it yet. And he had seen it his whole life, watching the cars drive by. And I thought to myself, okay, this really is a big deal.
Although one of the things that, of course, excited us is the fact that before they had announced the reopening of the country, that we had gotten permission to enter Italy as international athletes. And exactly. And so when you are there as a participant in the Mille Miglia, you are a rock star. You're an Olympic athlete. You are a world champion. You are everything. People look at you in the cars, admire, but not in a jealous or envious way. It's like, wow, that's great that he gets to do that. That she's there in that car. That they're sharing that with us.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I really noticed was maybe in other parts of the world people would be. Have more jealousy and more anger.
You get a gesture and it wouldn't be a friendly wave.
Yeah, it would be a finger. But yeah, everyone seemed really enthusiastic, and all the people in the small towns, and even at the beginning when we were coming into scrutineering, all the volunteers seemed to be so happy for everyone participating in the event. And I mean, something that was, obviously they've been doing it for so long, but the staff and all of the work put into it, but everyone seems so happy and really knows what they're doing and wants to be there and wants to be around the cars. I think that's probably more than half of it. Well, that's what makes it happen, because people are happy to have the cars.
We are no strangers to hard work and to understanding what it takes to put an event together. But an event on the scale of the Mille Miglia, across half of Italy, with a relatively small staff, and as I think they said, it grows to something around 1,200 volunteers.
That's crazy.
On the days of the event in each of the regions. And the fact that everybody is really happy to be a part of this and proud to be a part of this. And so, as they say, Signor Melegari, tell us, in your very own words, how proud did it make you feel as a Bresciano and as an American to participate in this event?
Very proud, very, very happy. Just surreal, honestly. I mean, it went by so fast, but also went by so slow. When we got, we won't really talk about it because that's in the next episode, but when you get to the finish line, you're so exhausted, but you think to yourself, it wasn't that bad, it was no problem. We did it, no problem.
We'll get to that in the next segment, but I just want to close here by saying one of the things that also was so great for me and this homecoming trip for you was the fact your dad is a guy who I absolutely love. He's a fabulous guy, and he was as excited for you being there as you were excited about being there. I mean, it really made his day. He was amazing on that telephone. He couldn't believe that you were making this connection.
Yeah, he was so excited that I talk to him all the time, but he was so excited that I was talking to him, and I mean, it was later on in the day in Italy. It was earlier in the morning there, but he picked up immediately, and he was so amazed that we went to the old house, and he was like, I didn't tell him, I just turned the camera around and said, hey, look where I am. And I see him kind of look at the phone, and then he's like, oh my God, like he was so excited to see that we were at the old house. And I mean, you said, oh yeah, just go right on it. It's like, yeah, go right. We haven't been here in, I don't know, 25 years. It's like, calm down there. If you did that here, somebody would come outside with a shotgun or call the police.
But I think it speaks so much to not only your father and his personality, but also to the Italian spirit. It's, openness. This is my home. Exactly. This is my home. Welcome.
Mi casa, su casa.
Something like that. Slightly more Italian and slightly less Spanish. But yes, we get the drift. So this is a wonderful moment of homecoming, and now in our next segment, we, you, me, the little Ciara, we come home to Brescia again.
Maybe all of us.
Mille Miglia magic.